Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of CR Exposed. On today's episode we are looking at the Drider from the Monster Manual 2025 edition. And let's get right into checking out to see if this monster's CR is even correct. So we are looking at a CR6 monster here, and this is obviously a monstrosity, although the monstrosity part doesn't really matter. We just for the heck of it, throwing it out there. We do have 19 AC for a level CR6, excuse me. That's pretty high. Now, on average for a CR6, we're expecting a 15. That's the average for CR6. So 19 is absurdly high, which is likely going to mean this monster is going to either have really poor offenses or is broken. We'll see what happens when we get there. All right, so 19 AC is in place there. We are looking at a large monster. The only reason we update the hit dice or the size is because it changes the hit dice. And then on top of that, looking at the hit points, we have 13d10 plus 52 coming from the Constitution. So we'll go ahead and throw the 13 in there and then begin adding in the stats. So we have 16 Strength, 19 Dexterity, 18 Constitution, 13 Intelligence, 16 Wisdom, and 12 Charisma. From there, we can take a look at the features for our Drider here, and the Drider itself only has Perception and Stealth, which at this point, since we're just checking for CR, doesn't really matter. So we can move past all this and go into the traits area. Now, we do have Spider Climb, Sunlight Sensitivity, and Web Walker, and unfortunately, none of those are going to impact our CR whatsoever. So again, we can just pass by the features and we can pass by the traits. And we get into the actions and bonus actions for our Drider here. So the Drider itself has a multi-attack, and it makes 3 attacks using its foreleg or Poison Burst in any combination. That's impressive. Okay, so we can do any of those, it doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and start adding in the dice there. We do have, for our forelegs and a burst, since I always forget, we're going to start with the attack bonus, which is either a 7 or a 6. And in this case, I'm just going to leave it at a 7, because we are looking at averages here mathematically, not in combat. When we are in combat, we round down. Mathematically, for everything else, we're going to round up like normal. From there, we have 2d8 plus 4 for our foreleg. So we'll switch the monster dice here. 2d8, and then the plus 4 is coming from... Oh, it's coming from Dexterity. Okay. And then the Poison Burst, oddly enough, seems to be coming from Strength. I guess because they're using Strength to throw. Whatever. As long as it comes out properly in the end, it doesn't really matter all that much. But in any event, here we go. We have 13 for this, and we have 13.5 for the Poison Burst. Now, we can do a combination of any of these, and since they're basically all the same, I mean, in the end, the Poison Burst is going to come out with ever so slightly more damage, but less to hit. I'm just going to say we're going to take the 13, regardless. So we'll go ahead and take 13 here. I forgot. We gotta... No, we're just... I'm getting confused. Confusing myself. There we go. So these are our attacks, move down, and again, in case the attacks had any kind of a rider, so for instance, if the forelegs also came with a poison damage rather than just piercing, we would combine those from the monster's attack dice up here. And then we have our multi-attacks. So we have our base, which is going to be 13 times 3. Then we have our maximum, which is the Poison Burst of 13.5 times 3, which is going to give us 40.5. And then we want the average of those two because we can do any combination of those 3. And this will be, so for damage, we are rounding down because this is for combat. Round down, average, and then we'll say, we'll just take the 2. And we average out to 39. So that's what our damage will be regardless. It's going to be 39. Now that our actions are done, we also have a bonus action here, Magic of the Spider Queen, which recharges on a 5 or a 6. So in theory, we are only seeing this once, because we are only doing combinations, or we're only doing calculations for the monster for 3 rounds of combat. So from there, we are going to look at Darkness, Fairy Fire, and Web, and we will use one of those. So I will figure out which is the better one in just, actually, let's take a look here. So we'll go ahead and See here, Darkness is a second level evocation, Fairy Fire is a first level evocation, and Web is a second level conjuration. Alright, so between those three, let's go to my spell damage lookup. We will go to this here for Moonbeam, and we'll switch it to Darkness, and we'll see that for Darkness we're expecting 28 effective DPR, or if we use Web, we'll probably see the same thing. Oh, Web is just 2 effective AC, which leads me to believe that we probably have something in here for Web. Yes, we do. We have a giant spider web as a feature here. So we can either get a whole bunch of effective hit points from the Darkness, which isn't the greatest for our Drider because we only have dark vision. We don't have any kind of magical dark vision. So in theory, Web is going to be the better option. So we will go ahead and just use that Web for the effective AC bonus. And again, this is slightly bloating our spider here because it is giving us +1 effective AC bonus, which is only affecting us for one of 3 rounds of combat. So probably why it's only a +1, but it still did modify, as I saw here. You know, we're seeing a slight jump in the AC. So let's go ahead and work out the rest of this and figure out where our Drider actually is at the moment. So since our monster here has an average of 39 damage, we will go ahead and just throw those in. We already have the magic, the bonus action of Web, which is going to make the most sense. In essence, we could also do Fairy Fire, but that might not, or actually might bloat. I don't want to say it's going to bloat, but it will increase the there's a good chance it'll increase the effective hit points rather than the effective AC. So let's go ahead and see where we're at right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw in the concentration area, 39, because we'll be doing that every round of combat. And surprisingly enough, we are at a CR7. Technically CR 6.5, but we round up math-wise when determining CRs. Now let's see what happens if we remove the Web. So if we remove Web and don't use any bonus actions, we are at a balanced CR6 here. Anything else that we do is going to drastically increase the CR here. So for instance, let's go back and take a look at the Web, or the Darkness here. For Darkness, we have 28 effective hit points, and if we go back here, we'll throw in the 28 effective effective DPR. We switch that to effective hit points, and then we will take the 70 and divide that by 3. So we'll go ahead and throw this in here. We'll say round down, and then average, no, just round down, and we'll take 70, divide that by 3 for a total of 23 extra hit points. And sure enough, that bloats our, well, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't bloat, but it does push our defensive CR up from a 7 to an 8. So really solidifying that technically, if we use any kind of bonus action here, we are looking more at a CR7 rather than a CR6. So how do we fix this? Well, the quick and dirty is just don't use the bonus action. While it is pretty cool, use it to run away. That's the best I can suggest. Save it to let the Drider survive another day to fight your players again. That's the only reason you would want it. Unless there's other Drow in the area that are helping out this Drider, or other monstrosities, there's no reason to use the bonus action until the Drider needs to escape. And the Drider should be trying to escape. Here's a little how to play the Drider. With a 13 intelligence, it's got okay tactics, which means it knows it wants to use its bonus action at an opportune time. With a 16 wisdom, it wants to live. Anything with a lower wisdom score won't know to run away or may run away in the first hit, like beasts. Beasts usually have a very low wisdom score, which means one hit and they run, and they should be running. With a 16 wisdom, this Drider is only going to attack if they have the upper hand. And then from there, they know to get out pretty quick. So usually when they are down maybe 40 to 50% of their hit points, that's when they know they're going to run. That's how you play monsters. This is how you should be playing monsters. They need to run away when they are about to die. Only the stupid ones, undead, or basically undead and devils that aren't in the 9 hells are the only ones that are going to fight to the death. And most undead, especially like wights and vampires, they're going to run as well. They don't want to die. Anything that is mindless doesn't care about dying. Constructs, skeletons and undead, zombies, they don't care. Fiends and devils that aren't in the Nine's Hells, they don't care either because they're just going to come back to life. So this Drider wants to live, and they should be running at about 50% hit points, if not even higher than that. After a good couple hits, they're going to duck out and they're going to use their bonus action to do so. Now, let's talk about the playstyle here. If we use the bonus action prior to trying to escape, which again is not a good idea, save it to escape. If we do that, then we have a soldier or a tank. Because the blue zone here is a little higher than the average, we have a slight leaning towards tanking, and that's because of the magic of the Spider Queen with defensive abilities. Now, if we get rid of this and we don't use the bonus action, we have a soldier type. This is what I consider a soldier type that is basically even right across the board. If neither the offensive CR or the defensive CR are higher or lower than the average CR, this is what I consider a soldier. They can tank a little bit, they can do some okay damage. They're not going to be doing, blazingly high damage like a dragon or, a rogue of some sort, but they're also capable of taking a few hits. So this Drider will, especially with that 19 AC, will be able to avoid being hit a few times. Now, as we see here, the hit points are pretty low, which means they're not going to survive a lot of attacks. Maybe 3-4 hits tops. By the time they hit about 40 to 50% hit points, they're going to want to run away. So there's your impromptu how to play and playstyle of your Drider here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Love these monster breakdowns? Of course you do. Directly support the channel by becoming a YouTube member or Patreon subscriber today. Your support helps me create more content and get you some awesome perks in return, like early video access and exclusive custom monsters. Find all the details in the description below.